The grandparents are getting an upgrade on their picture frame this year. We've got a button and a speaker on the back here, and now their grandkids can tell them 30 different ways just what great grandparents they are. That's right. This whole thing costs about $15 to put together. You got a 3D printer and a soldering iron to make it happen. It's open source, so you can take it and do what you will with it. And the grandkids get to participate. They record their own phrases, which are then set to music, loaded onto this thing, and grandparents can push the button and take a listen anytime they like. Oh man, he really likes Mario Kart. Anyway, so let's see how this thing is built. It's a real simple one, and I think this would do well for lots of folks at holidays. First thing, purchase the parts that you see here. They're linked in the description. Total cost $15. Second, head out to Nathan Builds DIY, download the 3D model, and print it. You can find 3D printers at public libraries and makerspaces if you don't already have one, so that shouldn't be an impediment. This is really small and simple. Just use PLA as your filament type. It's the most common type. No brim and 10% infill. The setup for this is not too bad. This is a Raspberry Pi Pico with headers. I did that just to make it easy. This is a little amplifier, so we'll wire that up to over here, and then we'll hook this speaker up to this amplifier right here. And last up, you do need a way to turn this on and off. So this is just a little limit switch with wires connected to it, which will also hook in right here. Last up, you're going to have this 3D printed case. The speaker fits right in there, and then everything else fits inside there, and you've got the USB that pokes out right here so that you can plug it in and make it run. So let's see how to solder all this up. First, you're going to take two wires with wire ends like this, stick them into your speaker, and solder. Now pop the speaker wires into your amplifier and solder. Last, install these headers. Take these headers right here, install them right here. Last, solder in two wires right here, and those will plug right into your Raspberry Pi Pico. Now you can plug things into your Raspberry Pi Pico according to the wiring diagram here. You can watch me doing it here. I'll slow it down whenever I get something plugged in. Green is ground, yellow is 3.3. So we're going to connect it over here. Here's the USB. Here's ground and 3.3 out. On the other side, the center pin, orange, is unused. So we're only going to connect the brown and the red. And brown and red connects over here to ground and our signal pin right there. So leave the orange unconnected, brown, red, and ground 3.3 volts. Also on the ground 3.3 volt side is your switch. Next, you're going to record your kids saying nice phrases for their grandparents. Shoot for 20 phrases. The length should be like 10 to 22 seconds in length. They're going to be mixed with 30-second audio with some front and end. So 22 seconds is about the limit. And you can prompt them. You can write them down. Whatever you want to do to get something cute and funny for their grandparents to listen to. I prefer to record with Audacity. That's what you see here. This is a free download open source program, and put it on your laptop and use the laptop mic. And the reason that I like this is you can, for example, this kid phrase right here has a lot of quiet parts and a lot of loud parts. So you can do a select all, apply the effect amplify. It'll bring everything up to the max that it can, and then you can do another effect called compressor, and basically this will take the quiet parts and make them louder without clipping those loud parts. So now you can get a phrase that's much more uniformly loud, and this is going to cut through the music, the background music that this gets mixed with. It gets the most out of our little speaker, and little voices can often sort of fade out. This is a way to bring up those low points using Audacity. So now when you're done with this, you're just going to export as MP3. And so you're going to save each one of those clips individually, call it, 1.mp3 or whatever, and it'll export onto your computer and take those phrases for our next step. You're going to take them over and mix them with the music. So check in there next. Take those 20 or so phrases that your kids just created and create a directory structure like this. There is mixed phrases, music, picture phrases, and then this picture make stock phrases. So where do these come from? Well, the picture phrases are just what your kids recorded. So drop those 20 MP3s into there. This music directory comes from the Nathan Builds DIY picture frame folder. You can see in this music directory here, we've got a bunch of MP3s. Now these were generative AI created from udo.com. So if you want to make your own, you feel free to make your own right there. They're just instrumental holiday music. So you're going to download this music folder and drop it into that same directory you see here. Now mixed phrases should be empty for now. And the last thing is this picture make stock phrases.py. Well, grab, again, from the Nathan Builds DIY that you see in the background here, grab this make stock phrases.py script. This is a Python script. It runs via command line. Whoops, wrong one. Runs via command line right here. So what you want to do, the only library that you need to install is pip3 install pydub. I'm doing this on a Raspberry Pi 5 because that's where I already had Python installed. You could put this on a Windows or Mac machine as well. That is, you'll have to do an install of Python. However your system does that, and then once you have Python up and running, you do a pip3 install pydub. Now mine, as you see here, won't allow me to install it directly. I have to instead install it in a virtual environment and then source that V environment. So we'll do that quick. We'll do source ghost V environment bin activate. Okay, so now I've sourced the virtual environment where pydub is installed, and I'm going to go into this picture frame directory, and all you do is run Python 3 picture frame make stock phrases. So now that that's running, it's going to go out and take each phrase in our picture phrases directory, do about 4 seconds of music, bring the music way down, and then mix on top of it the kid phrase one by one. Each file is a separate music plus phrase. And then at the end, it'll bring the music back up for about 3 seconds. So this is a cool way to put holiday music in the background of your kids' phrases and make the whole experience more pleasurable. So now it'll take one thing from the music directory, one thing from the picture phrases, mix them together, and drop the result out here. So now you can see that we've got a whole bunch of mixed phrases, and they're all sitting out here. And this is what you'll actually put onto your Raspberry Pi Pico in the next step. So these are the things that actually get played by it. One last thing before we go. This is probably of interest to somebody watching. The actual mixing part is these couple lines right here, where pydub does the mixing of those together. And then at the very end, this is also a really useful little step. We're going to take the sampling rate of these from 44.1 kilohertz down to a quarter of that, 1.1 kilohertz. And we're going to set the channels to 1, so it's mono, which means we only have one speaker. We don't have a left and right speaker. So this brings the file size way down. If you look at these things, these are 33 kilobytes instead of a meg or more if you were full bandwidth on these. The reason for that is our Raspberry Pi Pico has very limited storage, something like a megabyte, maybe a megabyte and a half of available storage for these things. So we really got to shrink them down. And this retains good enough audio quality for our little 3-inch speaker while keeping the file size minimum. So something useful for somebody out there watching this. All right, next step. You've finished wiring up your Pi as we did in the last step, and now you have to load some code onto it. This is a Pi Pico right here, and I have it connected over here to a Raspberry Pi 5. You can see that over here. The important thing though, you could run this on Mac or Windows. You've got to get this program called Phony installed on your Windows, Mac, or Linux PC. And when you go to plug this in, this is a USB that's connected over here. You have to press this little white button right here called Boot Select, before you finish inserting the cable, like that. And then when you let up on everything, it's going to show up as a removable medium. So for now, we don't want to do anything with that. We're going to go ahead and hit cancel over here. And down here on Thani, we're going to say install CircuitPython. And of course, we have a Raspberry Pi Pico H, and we're going to hit install and wait a little bit. The installation is completed, and now you see that it shows up as a removable medium again. We're going to go ahead and hit cancel on that. We're going to close this out. Now, over here, you are going to open up on your CircuitPython the code.py. So this is the file that comes in pre-installed on your Raspberry Pi. You're going to replace the code in code.py with the code that is out here in Nathan Builds DIY. So go ahead, copy all this, select, copy, head back over to Thani. We're going to do a replace, and then we're going to save this, Control S, and we're going to run it. First we have to stop the board because all it was doing was hello world. Now we have to run it. So it's off there running on our CircuitPython, and that means that when we actually go press this, it's going to look for MP3s. Now there are no MP3s on there yet, so the next thing that we have to do is head out here, grab some MP3s that we pre-mixed, hit Control Copy, head back to our CircuitPython, and we are going to copy those out to our CircuitPython. So there they go. It appears that we ran out of space for 3 of them, but that's okay. We can make those smaller in just a moment. So we're going to go ahead, close those for now, and we'll head back over here to our Thani. We're going to stop and restart our code. And when we run this,
to play with. Kevin agrees.
now you may notice that that was pretty darn raspy, and the reason is this little guy right here has an amplifier on him. If you can see right there, there's a little screw. We're going to take that screw and we're going to turn it counterclockwise a couple, maybe a half turn, and that's going to sound a whole lot better the next time we play.
Basement, Mima, and play with you and eat scrambled eggs that I make. I make scrambled eggs. No, we doesn't.
It's time to put all this into here, so let's get started. First thing you'll need is a section of a little bit of wire right here. You're going to bend it into a U shape, like so, and you're going to install first your Raspberry Pi into here, and second your contact. So you just want to take the copper like this, push it through your limit switch, the holes at the bottom of the limit switch that is. You get it through as a U shape like this, and then bend these so that they hold it tightly in place, like so. And now when you push your limit switch, it's held tightly in place. Second, you've got to fix this Raspberry Pi. You can see there's little holes right here. You really only need to get a screw into those top set of holes. So go ahead, grab a small screw, anything will work. You can actually push it through here, like so, and then you get it to fix in place here. This will take some screwing, so grab your tiny screwdriver and go to work. And like so. Now you can stuff this inside. Anywhere is fine. Now you need a slightly larger screw for this part. You should be able to use any old power supply as long as it's a USB-B. Go ahead and plug that into the wall. Plug it in right here. Give it a quick test.
years old, you were still fun to play with. Calvin agrees.
So the last part is you're going to take any old screw here, just like you did before, stick it right here, and screw it in. I should show, I guess. There's little holes right here. So when you screw through here, you're also going to hit the hole just below it, and that should hold on your entire lid securely. Now you want to stick this onto your picture frame. This is a just regular picture frame that you get from Walmart. Go ahead and unplug for this step, like so. You take, this is Velcro with a sticky back on it. Both sides are currently stuck together. So we're gonna cut right down the middle of that, like so. Now we figure out just where we want this to set. This is the top part right here, and we want to be able to reach this easily. So having this clicker right out here should make it easy to get to. The speaker is of course facing out, so we're going to put our strips on the other side right here and stick it down on there, like so. So peel the backing off these. You got a sticky back there. You can go here. And now again, you're going to have this sitting right up here. Let's go like so. That should make it accessible. Now the whole thing sits up like this. And you can plug it in like so, and then hit go.
This is number 77 years old. You were still fun to play with.
Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unique and useful do-it-yourself builds.